Tonight on CTV News, a major backdown by the government when it comes to the Coastal Hazards Report, the end of an era for kaiapoi, and remembering those who helped to serve us.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, now live streaming every night at ctv.co.nz. Well, Christchurch coastal residents have been granted a reprieve from the strict rules that would have limited what they could do with their own property. The government has scrapped the controversial Coastal Hazards Report that deemed 18,000 homes were at risk of coastal flooding. The report was part of a fast-tracked replacement Christchurch District Plan review process, but Environment Minister Dr Nick Smith says the Coastal Hazards chapter has been dropped and the rules that would have required extra resource consents for renovations to those properties won't be proceeding either. Jared McCulloch reports.
Relief for many residents around the city today, with the controversial coastal hazards process being dumped.
It couldn't have been better. This is what we've been asking for from day one, and to hear it today, it's just such a relief.
It's been an ongoing battle for the group to have the coastal hazards process stopped, wanting to start again from scratch.
There's going to be 40-odd thousand people in the hazard zones, probably having a glass of wine tonight or a beer.
The report has been through leaps and bounds with the public, requiring more time to assess their property values if the sea level were to rise in the next 50 to 100 years, and to put their submissions forth to council. Last month, Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalzell sent an email to Earthquake Recovery Minister Jerry Brownlee and Environment Minister Nick Smith, asking to extend the submission period for the remaining part of the Natural Hazards Report. It was accepted. Now central government has stepped in to halt the process, wanting the issue to go through the council's normal plan review process.
Well, I think really, it's good that both council and government have understood the issues and between them have worked at a really rapid rate to get this process overturned, so I'd congratulate them for doing that. And we can now start sometime maybe next year on a proper process that involves consultation, discussion of mitigation and all those good things and proper reports, and do this in a time frame that recognises we're dealing with an issue that might happen in 50 to 100 years.
Munro believes the right outcome can be made if the issue comes up again soon, saying things take time.
After a major issue like the earthquake, it's the biggest event to happen to the city in recorded history. They've tried to put 10 years of work through in 12 months, and obviously mistakes are made along the way, and fortunately that's been recognised, and we're back to where we should have been.
But it's far from over yet for Munro and his team. They're still focused on getting the report done right.
This is a process that should never have been shoved into a truncated district plan process. It needs a lot of thought. It's a pretty serious issue when you start tinkering with the property rights and values of 18,000 property owners. We'll obviously still be involved in the long-term consultation process, but the main reason we were put together was to fight this process as it was, and that need has been met.
Plans are now underway to start the review all over again. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Well, it could take days to break up the stricken MV2 hoist stranded at the mouth of the Waimak River, but its owners are confident they can retrieve at least parts of the stricken boat to keep its memory alive.
Plans are well underway tonight to move the historic boat off the Waimakariri River mouth, but it's now a deconstructing exercise.
It was quite an emotional time and a very sad decision to be making. Wasn't one we wanted to make. And after having made it, everyone bar one said we'd made the right decision.
A 2-hour-long meeting was held this morning down at the stranded Tūhoe to decide on its fate.
Well, the first option is the ship was not going to be sailing again. It's too severely damaged for that. The hold in the engine room was full of water that had come in last night. The ship is sort of breaking up a little bit. The second option was to pull it further up the beach, get it out of the tidal area. We looked at that seriously.
But it was something the Trust could not afford, working hard to get the cash together for the repairs it just had received at the Littleton dry docks.
The other option we had was to leave it under the jurisdiction of the harbour master, and he deconstructs it, and that was the ultimate decision.
The damage to the boat is severe. A fear it would sink if it was moved out to sea. Water has now made its way inside, unable to float again.
It's pretty good on the outside. Once you get inside, it's breaking up.
And the locals are still reeling.
Very sad about the whole situation. Yeah, I don't know how they even got up there.
Heartbreaking for the port. There's a trust crowd that look after all the time, isn't it? Heartbreaking.
Well, I think it's quite sad that they got stuck out there. It's just the way it goes. It's an old boat, isn't it? Old ship. Yeah, we'll miss it.
It's understood the boat veered off course coming into the Waimakariri River mouth, with a wave pushing it up the beach.
The ship has a very small rudder. It's not easily manoeuvrable. And once that occurred, you'll see if you go to the river mouth how shallow it is either side of the channel, wherever the channel may be. So once it got beached, it was sort of all over.
The Trust is looking at a number of ways to keep the memories of their beloved boat alive, hoping their local icon will live on.
The only good thing is we are retrieving, or hope to retrieve, the mast, the wheelhouse and other bits and pieces, and hopefully we'll have those on a display at some point in the future. We have a lot of video and film footage, so we are able to create hopefully a nice display.
Well, I'd like to see it back in Kaipoi, because it is history. It's a big part of Kaipoi history.
It'd be a shame, wouldn't it? It'd be good to see if they could restore it. It's actually quite a iconic old ship for around here.
It'll take until the end of the week to dismantle the boat, an end of an era. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Police are seeking the public's help to catch those responsible for lighting a series of fires in central Christchurch early this morning. 2 fires occurred at a construction site near Bangor Street properties, and the third fire was in a garage adjacent to one of the residential addresses. Police say, given the timing and location of the fires, it was lucky no one was killed or seriously injured. Well, still to come here on CTV News, we'll bring you some sports updates and a local regional weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. Well, a Christchurch man has received a warning after carrying what was initially thought to be a gun, but it turned out to be a gun-shaped bottle of perfume. The 28-year-old man was seen at a St Martin's supermarket carrying the suspicious item, raising concerns from locals. Police say the man is lucky to escape being arrested given the time and resources used to locate him. Well, a day of reflection for police across the country with the annual Remembrance Service, recognising those who died in the line of duty. But this year, they're also honouring those who have served the police but have since passed on. Jared McCulloch reports.
A tribute to the men and women in blue. Canterbury Police took the time to reflect today on the officers who lost their lives in duty, and for the first time this year, they honoured the men and women who served but have since passed. Usually, the annual Police Remembrance Day service recognised the 29 who were killed on duty as a result of a criminal act since its establishment back in 1886.
Today, police staff throughout New Zealand, Australia and the Pacific Islands take part on Remembrance Day. We do this every day on the 29th of November to remember, to honour.
One Canterburyan who was recognised was a member of the Christchurch Child Protection Unit who died in the collapse of the CTV building in the February 2011 earthquake.
Pamela Marie Bryan died 22nd of February 2011.
And a Timaru sergeant was also honoured, serving at the New Zealand Police for nearly 30 years.
Senior Sergeant Hohi Randall Te Ota Tiki Tiki Timaru, years of service 1986 to 2015.
May they rest in peace as our fallen peacemakers who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Then the 38 employees' names were read one by one.
Constable Graham Stewart Wackrow, died 25th of March 1984. Constable Glenn Andrew Hughes, died 2nd of July 1986.
Sergeant Archibald McPhee died 20 January 1910. Constable Dennis Mahoney died 29 March 1914.
Followed by a minute's silence.
From my heart, I thank you. for bringing peace to our community, and I ask that we always keep ourselves safe. All I want is each one of you to come home at the end of your duty safely to your loved ones.
A day to reflect. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Well, to celebrate International Day of the Older Persons, some elderly folk went back to school today for the annual Positive Ageing Expo. Gordon Finlater reports.
School's out for term holidays, and the seniors are taking over. The Positive Ageing Expo is put together by Age Concern Canterbury, and the event is one of the biggest on their calendar.
We have a team on it who spend many weeks getting prepared for this. We've got nearly 150 exhibitors here today, and probably many thousands of people that have come through to enjoy the day and meet the exhibitors and see what's out there and available for older people.
Now well established, year by year the expo is continuing to grow.
Age Concern Canterbury have been running it for 9 or 10 years now, and it certainly has grown every year, and it does get bigger. This year we've had to have the marquees out here that you can see, because we've just filled up with all the gyms and the rooms are all filled up with exhibitors.
One of those exhibitors is the Wainoni Avonside Community Services Trust. We wandered inside to find the team getting down to some Zumba. The lady behind all this fun is the community's coordinator, Betty Chapman. The message from the Trust is all about having a good time.
Our group today has sung. We've sung some fun earthquake songs to when the saints come marching in. We changed it to EQC and the builders and the painters and the movers. And when the EQC check comes rolling in, we want to be in that number too. And then we did half a dozen Zumba numbers here as well.
A weekly Zumba class is just one of many activities run by the Trust. And after today's free class, there may be a few new faces showing up in the future. Some bodies may not be as agile as they used to, but age has no effect on the group's enthusiasm.
It doesn't matter as long as you can move a little. And it's good brain gym. You're like crossing over all the time. It's very good brain gym. It's excellent. And also with exercise you release the endorphins and you feel a bit happier in yourself. And sometimes it's a lonely place being older, living alone. Sometimes it's quite lonely and quite a dark place at times. Yeah, but you get things like this and that brightens them up.
And it's community groups like Betty's that make the Positive Ageing Expo such a success.
The feedback we hear most is from older people is coming here and seeing everything that's available for them. They find it remarkable how many groups and organisations there are that they can be a part of and belong to. So that's one of the successes of the day.
If you missed out, the event is sure to be back next year. Make sure you bring your trainers though, just in case you happen to stumble across some impromptu Zumba. Gordon Finlater, CTV News.
Still to come here on CTV News, the region's weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. 4 Christchurch primary schools are the lucky recipients of a cricket gear donated to them today, and a special guest was on hand to deliver the great news.
Richard Hadley was the surprise guest today, as cricket gear was donated to 4 local schools. Te Waka Inua Bromley School, Linwood North School and Shirley Primary were the lucky recipients. The fun didn't end there though, with the children given the unique opportunity to play on the international field at Hagley Oval. Not only that, but they had the chance to impress in front of the country's greatest ever cricketer. On the back of a successful Cricket World Cup, Sir Richard Hadley knows the importance of promoting the game to youngsters.
Oh no, we're going through a pretty good time, no question about that. And it's important too, when you look at a ground like this at Hagley Oval, that these youngsters can see the Black Caps actually play, and the White Ferns for that matter. Because we've been denied international cricket for 5 or 6 years due to the earthquakes. Lancaster Park's no longer a venue for any sport, but to have this created now is important for the kids to rub shoulders and see their heroes, and that interest will kick on from there. I mean, I remember that in my own day, watching international teams play and the great players, and just to see them in the flesh and get a photograph, get an autograph, say hi, it's a long-lasting memory for those for kids.
A former Canterbury cricket coach, Nigel Marsh now teaches at Linwood North School. He's stoked about the new gear the kids will now have to use as the school looks to grow its cricketing program.
The Metro competition is a Friday afternoon competition, and so we'll certainly be taking part in that. This year we'll probably just have one team, but hopefully with this introduction of this gear and keep driving enthusiasm, we'll get a couple of teams into the competition next year. So we're looking forward to it.
He can also see how popular our summer game still is with the next generation of future stars.
You don't really need to dig too deep. It's just the kids' enthusiasm that drives you. They just love being out there and love sort of chasing a ball. It don't need any sort of extra energy or enthusiasm. It's all there. Provide the gear, and the kids will come and play.
With Christchurch kids now able to see the world elite on their own doorstep, the great Sir Richard Hadley is hopeful some of these young ones will catch the bug.
When I reflect back on my own life, I played so many different forms of cricket. You can play cricket by yourself, even in the garage by putting a ball on a string and having a ball in a sock and just hitting it time and time again, running in and bowling at one wicket with a tennis ball. Then you go out to the nets and you play with a cricket ball. I used to bowl a golf ball as a youngster and tried to hit one wicket, and behind the wicket was the brick wall of the garage, so the ball would bounce back, so you'd dive and take some fielding practice.
And here's hoping those that find enthusiasm for the game could even go on to achieve bigger and better things.
So you can see all those different forms of cricket where you can adapt, and it's through that your interest is captured for one, and then you just want to progress through various age groups and go on and play for your school first 11, a club team, a senior team, then go on and play first class cricket for your province, and hopefully if good enough to go on and play for your country. So all these little stepping stones can get you to the top.
Gordon Findlater, CTV News.
The schedule for next year's Super Rugby competition has been released, so what does it mean for the boys back home? Here's Gordon Findlater.
The Crusaders will kick their season off at home when they face the Chiefs on Saturday, the 27th of February. That will be the first of 3 home games in the space of a month, with the Blues and Lions also paying visits. It's then off to South Africa for 2 matches before taking on the Western Force in Perth, finishing a testing road trip. The Crusaders will get 1 match against one of the competition's new franchises, taking on the Argentinian side in Christchurch on April 15th. It's then a string of games at home and across the ditch before the side finish their round robin against the Hurricanes for the 2nd year in a row. The Crusaders will miss out on playing the new Japanese franchise, with South Africa's Bulls, Stormers and Cheetahs also missing a match against the Crusaders due to the new schedule.
And now Mercy's here with a look at the region's weather forecast.
Kia ora Canterbury. Well, today lovely sunny skies again, light breezes and northerly winds for most places. Those winds did get a little bit fresh this afternoon though. Today's highs first up 15 degrees for almost everyone here, apart from you Twizel, you took out 13. 14 degrees was the high for Christchurch, Akaroa and Leaston. A little bit warmer for Darfield and Methven on 15 degrees, and Ashburton you took out the region's high today, 16 for you. Heading further north, there was a bit of a 15-degree trend here today. Everyone here, Kaikoura, Cheviot, Amberley, Rangiora, Hanmer Springs, Colvin and Oxford all on 15 degrees. And over to the mountain ranges, 13 there for Lake Tekapo and Mount Cook. Now tomorrow for the major centres, looking hot and sunny. 16 degrees is the high there for Timaru, few northerly winds and lovely beautiful sunny skies for you. Ashburton, blue skies as well with a bit of high cloud there, 17 degrees for your high and 5 for your morning low. Christchurch, you can also expect a lovely day for your Wednesday. 16 degrees is your high with northerly breezes and 7 for a nice mild morning low. And looking to Kaikoura, we're seeing beautiful sunny skies, light winds and coastal breezes. Your high 17 degrees with 6 for your morning start. Look forward to that sunshine the rest of the Canterbury region. Northerly winds there for Geraldine, Temuka and Waimate, and cloudy skies there. Central Canterbury, we're also seeing quite a nice Wednesday. Northerly winds for Akarawa, Leeson and Methven. Darfield, your high is actually 18 degrees with light winds for you. Heading further north, lots of sunshine here. Amberley, a little bit of a cloudy patch in here or two for you, but 17 degrees for almost everyone apart from Oxford, 18 degrees for your high there. And over to the Alpine region, a little bit of rain for Lake Tekapo and Mount Cook, but a mostly dry day with northwesterly winds. Now the upcoming days, Thursday and Friday, also looking really lovely. 21 degrees is the high there for Christchurch on Thursday, 20 there for Ashburton and 18 for Kaikoura. Beautiful warm temperatures. On Friday we are seeing these lovely warm temperatures continuing. 19 for Ashburton, 17 there for Kaikoura and northerly winds turning southerly in the evening. Thursday for the rest of the Canterbury region is looking lovely. Sunny skies and cloudy patches here and there. We are seeing a few gusty northerly winds, particularly for exposed places and coastal areas Thursday afternoon. Flipping over to Friday, a lovely day on Friday as well. Northerly winds turning southerly in the evening. There is a slight chance there could be some showers Friday evening, but it will most likely stay dry. So enjoy that sunshine over the next couple of days. It's almost Jandal weather on Thursday and Friday with 20 and 21 degree heat for some places. And that's your weather update for Tuesday.
Well, before we go tonight on News Talk CB, we were absolutely inundated with tributes and recounts and memories of those who have special thoughts about the MV Tūhoe, of course the boat which will be no more in Kaiapoi. CTV viewer and News Talk CB listener John Newman sent in a song written about that boat named The Song of the Tūhoe. It was written by a Christchurch man by the name of John Leslie, who has since passed away, and performed by Chris Moore. Take a listen to this.
All aboard the good Tūhoe, won't you come a-sailing with me? Welcome aboard the proud Tūhoe and join our happy family. We'll let go board, we'll let go aft, we'll cruise down the river in our carry-hold craft into the Waimate estuary. So please come a-sailing with me. The captain and the helmsman are standing by above. The engineers and sing the diesels that they love. The crew are at their stations, volunteers, each one. They love their trim Tūhoe and they like to share the fun. All aboard the good Tūhoe, won't you come?
Very nice indeed. Well, don't forget to join me on News Talk CB tomorrow. We have an exclusive interview with the principal scientist from NASA involved in the Mars expedition of 2020. Very special indeed. But from all of us here at CTV News, have a great evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.